Well, good Saturday afternoon, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, I'm sitting here, I'm trying to be better, okay? I'm trying to take my emotions out of the way, okay? I'm actually going to try to um, look at the other side of the fence. Now, let's be clear. Let's be clear. The Dallas Cowboys have made some mistakes and some miscalculations, okay? Randy Gregory was a player that they thought they were going to bring back. And had they brought him back, we basically would have brought back the defense that we had intact from the year before, with, of course, some minor ones, probably, Brett Urban and Keanu O'Neal aren't there. But you look at it from the standpoint of the players that were here that were integral in the parts of the defense getting better. They're coming back for a second year. We did get Jaron Curse back. Of course, we have Micah Parsons. We have a healthy D-Law coming back. We got Dorrance Armstrong back in, who, quite frankly, wasn't that far away from Randy Gregory. Believe it or not, Dorrance Armstrong actually had more tackles and only had one less sack than Randy Gregory. Now, Randy Gregory had a lot more pressures and things like that, but he also had a lot more penalties. Randy Gregory actually had 7 penalties during the season and 3 in the playoff game. Game-killing penalties. But, there's a thing called perception versus reality. And sometimes the perception is different than what the reality is. If we really look and take a step back, let's just really take a step back. Couple things to think about here. And I think I understand the Cowboys' philosophy. Because here's the thing. We're excited because of name players going places. We think about Von Miller and the big deal that he signed. It's like, oh my God, he got a $120 million, deal. The reality is it's really a 3-year deal. You just pay attention to the guaranteed money that a guy is getting. That's really all that matters. And the funny thing is, I was going back through the statistics. 50% of the free agent signings don't make it to the second year. Think about that for a second. So when you see all of these big moves that are made around the NFL, Carson Wentz. Hey, Carson Wentz, although that was a trade, but Carson Wentz went there to the Colts. People thought the Colts were a made-ready team to go. Carson Wentz, he was made to go. So we see all these big moves, and at the time, they look like they're going to be great. But a couple of things about all the big moves are, A, are we seeing a guy in a contract year that's playing lights out? We had Jason Hatcher, for example, who had 11 sacks his last year in Dallas, when every other year he was only averaging 3. He had a great year, got paid, and then went back down to his averages. And a lot of times, that's exactly what happens with a lot of players. They don't pan out. Here's where it's even crazier. Only a third of the free agent signings last more than 2 seasons. So I guess in some regards, I'm kind of tossing Stephen Jones a bone on that idea. Now let's think about this now. What did the Cowboys lose? Okay, again, Randy Gregory is really the only player of significance that we lost on the defense. The defense will be better simply because they have a second year of Dan Quinn to understand what they're doing. I think the defense will be better if Neville Gallimore is healthy to start the season. I think the defense will be better because OC will have a second year in the system. I think the defense will be better having a Jabril Cox going into a second season. So we're going to see these younger guys hopefully elevate their play, which is typical. Take Diggs. Diggs had 3 interceptions his rookie year. The first half of the season of his rookie year, he was kind of like, meh. Second half, he started getting good. Second year, he took off. So just from the standpoint of having that defense come together with Dan Quinn and hopefully adding a couple other pieces, that will help it to take up another step. You could look at the defense being better. Now, let's look at the offensive side. The offense is where we've lost a lot. Now, a couple of things that the talking heads are going through, and they're having revisionist history. And some of us are having revisionist history as well. How many of you guys were satisfied with Connor Williams play at guard? How many of you have been satisfied with Connor Williams at guard for all the years that he's been here? How many times have you been, oh my God, not another penalty on Connor Williams, who had 13? How many times did we want to replace him during the season? And we did. We tried Connor McGovern and found out he wasn't much better. But we looked at that and said, all season long, I don't know about you, all season long, I'm like, maybe we should have Lyle Collins playing guard, especially the way Terrence Steele was playing. I have to look at this and say that Terrence Steele is a better tackle right now than Lyle Collins. Lyle Collins, who had his issues the year before, hip surgery, and you don't want to have hip surgery as a offensive lineman. The testing issue, and I don't think he was as good as he had been in past years. Now, of course, everybody is going through now and saying, oh, my God, you would think that he is like Trent Green. I'm not sure that he was anymore. I think if he came back, and I looked at it, was either Lyle Collins or Tyron Smith's going to go. One of them's got to go. So we lost him. Connor Williams, again. Oh, he's going to Miami with other Cowboys. It's all of a sudden like these guys, be it they were starters, like they were great. I'm not at that point of saying that Connor Williams is a great guard. So for the Cowboys, they look at it and say, we have to upgrade whether they're on our roster or not. Amari Cooper, great some games, not so great other ones. But to me, if you can fix the offensive line, you'll be able to run the ball a little bit better, in which case your passing game will work better. So I think the Cowboys looked and said, CD, first-round draft pick, young, a lot more affordable, number one guy. And let's work and see what we can find. Because this draft, if you look at it from the standpoint of the Cowboys' needs, offensive line, tight end, wide receiver, defensive line, is full of all of those players. It's full. And so I think the Cowboys' thinking is, if we can go through and get 2 or 3 starters, save some cash for the second wave of free agency, we might be better suited in the long run. And the thing is, the funny thing is, a lot of times a team has a bad year. They bring in no names. And all of a sudden they play better. All of you guys that are pissed off right now about what the Cowboys have done, think back to last year. Think back to last year when the Cowboys were signing the Brett Urbans, the Carlos Watkins, the Keanu, whoa, dude, Neals, the Malik Hookers, keeping Anthony Brown, keeping Jordan Lewis, DeMarcus Lawrence having surgery again, Tristan Hill, and looked at that defense and said, oh, my God, we are going to suck again. We are going to be so bad. Look at that. The Cowboys didn't go out and get any free agents because there were free agents out there that we could have got, big name ones. I'm not saying that free agents don't help because they do. I would actually like to see us go get, I don't know, let's say maybe somebody I've mentioned a couple times, Bobby Wagner. I think that he could take our defense to another level, but we know how the Cowboys go. We know how the Cowboys go. But here's one good thing, at least if you buy into my theory here about the Cowboys, the way they're looking at it, at least we know that they're bringing in Kenyon Green from Texas A&M. He's projected as a late first round, maybe second round guard. Great prospect. Guy's a road grader. 6'4", 323 pounds. Big guy. A guy who could definitely do some damage. And if you can bring him in, here's where, if he can hit the ground running like a Zach Martin or Travis Frederick, if he can play well, if you get a guy like him, your center will be better because you have Zach Martin on one side and you'd have a Kenyon Green on the other. That improves your offensive line tremendously. It will help to open up some holes. I still would like to get a center. I still like to get a great swing tackle. Kenyon Green could possibly pay swing tackle. He could be. He is a big guy, like I said, a wide body who can definitely has a good base. He's got big hands. He can bulldoze people over. He's got a great punch, when it comes to pass blocking and getting that separation. He has a good base on him. He is got a little bit of an edge to him, but he does have a history of holding penalties, which, of course, will fit in. So the thing about draft picks doesn't matter who they are. It's a crapshoot. You don't know. You might end up getting a guy like Micah Parsons who comes out the box and plays lights out like, an MVP type candidate. Or you might get ones that come out like Taco Charlton. It's a crapshoot. And right now, the best you could look at is saying it's an educated guess with players. But at least the Cowboys are looking at substance more than sizzle. And if the Cowboys end up going the route of substance, and by substance I mean the guys that don't make the headlines but make all the difference in the world, substance that will sustain a team. Sizzle is that big pick, that guy, that wide receiver and stuff that sells a lot of jerseys, which is great, and you need those guys. But I'm more on, let's take care of the lines, and let's make it ugly for the other teams. And so that's what I got for you guys right now. With Kenyon Green, here's the thing that you also have to know, too. The Cowboys have 30 visits of players. The thing about the Cowboys, almost always draft guys that they've brought in for a visit. Typically speaking, if they have not brought you in for a visit, chances of you being drafted by them, unless you happen to just fall like crazy out the sky, is you're not getting drafted by him. He is coming in for a visit, so that could bode well for the Dallas Cowboys. And with that being said, I got some more work to do, and I will see you guys in about 4 hours for our live stream. And if you are a channel member, you want to join the Zoom call, I'll have it posted, the link, in the community tab shortly. And I'll see you later. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report.